Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nur Hidayat bin Muhammad Jun. Metric number 049842. Okay, so today we will presenting to you about current ethical issues in information technology. Okay, so for the introduction for this topic is marketers' use of the brand new information technologies has furnished the possibility for advanced marketplace segmentation and goal advertising. However, the carrier faces ethical conflicts due to the fact utility of those technology typically invades customer privacy. The authors look at the ethical dimensions of advertising exercise with regards to customer privacy. The that means of privacy in an advertising context is explored, and advertising threats to customer privacy are described. After inspecting contemporary and capacity mechanism to shield customer privacy, the authors finish that entrepreneurs must take a lively dedication to ethical conduct on this place if restrictive regulations is to be avoided. Information structures have made many businesses a hit today. Some agencies consisting of Google, Facebook, and eBay might now no longer exist without information technology. However, improper use of information technology can create troubles for the organization and employees. Criminals getting access to credit cards information can cause monetary loss to the owners of the cards or monetary institute. Using organization information system, posting irrelevant content on Facebook or Twitter, the usage of the company account can result in losses and loss of business. As you recall, for example, how ought to private information on online privacy be protected? Who received the information, approximately our behavior and likes. Before the arrival of the internet, people thought approximately and managed their personal information in unique ways. Today, lots of us lead complicated online lives, and we won't even comprehend how our personal information is being gathered and used. Companies like Caesar can accumulate data at buying patterns, personal preference, and professional or social affiliation in their customers without their even understanding approximately it. In this section, we'll discover several the ethical associated with consumer privacy, employee or workplace surveillance and privacy, location privacy, the globalization of online activity, and the protection of intellectual property. This list of issues is certainly not exhaustive, but provides a sample of the complexity of ethical problems in the context of managing IT.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syarul Hazan bin Muhammad Nazri. My metric number is 050619. Okay, I will explain about my part, which is consumer privacy. Many consumers are unaware that cookies technology represent a severe threat to their privacy when engaging with commercial websites. Cookies are tagged web files that websites transmit to and retrieve from users' computer. Website owners can acquire information about users' preference when interacting with them using this technology. However, there is a disadvantage to this technique in that the information acquired from users' computer system can be retrieved and later resubmit to the retailer's website anytime the user visits the site again. Cookies technology has both positive and negative aspects. Those who oppose the technology are concerned about the kind of customer profile that can be developed using cookies in the future. Many people are also concerned about how personal information is obtained, frequently without the user's knowledge or agreements. Many people believe that monitoring and recording users' activities when they visit a website and then downloading that personal information is a violation to their privacy. On the other hand, proponents of cookies, online company owners and operators will say that cookies provide a service to repeat visitors to their website. Retailer would be able to better serve their customer if they could customize their preference for future visits. Some technology such as privacy enhancing technology (PET) could be used to assist internet users who want to detect, block or restrict cookies on a selective basis. However, even with this technology, users are not able to disable cookies for every website that they visit since certain retailers require consumers to accept cookies in order to complete a transaction on the retailer's website. For example, Apple Incorporation. Cookies and other technologies such as pixel tags and web beacons may be used on Apple websites, online service, interactive application, email communications, and advertisements. These technologies assist Apple in better understanding consumer behavior, informing us about which portion of our website people have visited, and in facilitating and measuring the effectiveness of advertisements and web search. Apple consider information gathered through cookies and other technologies to be non-personal information. However, to the extent that local legislation considers Internet Protocol, IP address, or similar identifier to be personal information, Apple treats these identifiers as personal information as well. Similarly, when non-personal information is combined with personal information, Apple consider the combined information to be personal information for the purpose of this privacy and policy. In mobile advertising service, Apple and its partners use cookies and other technology to manage the number of time consumers view a given ad, provide ads and that are relevant to their interests, and analyze the effectiveness of ad campaigns.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nazmi bin Kamaluddin and my metric number is 050611. So I will be presenting about the employee or workplace surveillance and privacy. Employee surveillance at work has long been a popular practice, even before the advancement of technology as a surveillance tool. With the development of better monitoring and computer gadgets, it seems that an invisible supervisor now monitors our employees' activities around the clock. According to a survey conducted in the United States, approximately 45% of major companies record and evaluate their employees' interaction and behavior on the job. Checking their phone conversations, computer files, and even personal emails are among them. As surveillance technology grows less expensive and more widely available, it has become more common to monitor employees' behavior at work. This could include things like keeping track of how long an employee spends on the phone completing a transaction, for example, selling a product or resolving a customer's problem, and they also keeping track of how many breaks the employee takes. Is employee surveillance ethical in terms of employees' right to privacy? Individual privacy violation may be considered unethical because they appear to violate and interfere with the personal development of an individual's personality and identity. It could also be interpreted as a show of disrespect and mistrust for the employee. The argument for enabling monitoring and surveillance in the workplace, on the other hand, comes from the challenges that employers face, such as theft, the need to boost worker productivity, and the necessity to regulate personal use of technology. Companies appear to be concerned that their employees may abuse the power they have been granted by engaging in sexual harassment, negligent hiring and supervision, pornography, and also cyber stalking. As a result, cyber surveillance is the only option to prevent these incidents. Therefore, the question is, to what extent is employee surveillance legal? Employers in Western society are widely agreed that employees' activities that may be examined, such as their behavior while on the job, are of genuine concern to them. At the same time, there is an agreement that employee monitoring should be limited, and a few would approve the installation of surveillance cameras in workplace restrooms. However, the exact boundaries of permissible surveillance are not always clear. Currently, it appears that an increasing number of companies are willing to spend a significant price to invest in high-tech surveillance device to monitor their employees' behavior. According to the guidelines issued by the Malaysian Personal Data Protection Department, the primary purpose of CCTV installation at the workplace is for crime detection and prevention, and hence it cannot be misused for other purposes such as staff monitoring. It is a curious distinction by the Personal Data Protection Department, since crime can also be committed by employees, for example by those having access to cash or valuable company property. In any event, employees should always behave professionally on the job, whether or not someone is watching you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera to Madam Rashidah and all my fellow friends. My name is Ahmad Hafiz bin Mazhar. My metric number is 051763. Okay, today I will present about location privacy. Through the Global Positioning System or GPS technologies, it would now be possible to track or pinpoint a particular object or person's locations at any given time. This has led to concerns on the privacy issue known as location privacy. One of the technologies often used is RFID, short for radio frequency identification, which consists of a tag with an embedded microchip and a reader. The device is used mainly for commercial applications such as tracking items sold at retail stores, functioning as smart labels that make it easier to track inventories and safeguard merchandise from theft or imitation. When used in a proper situation, it does not seem to be controversial. However, radio frequency identification or RFID in the not so distant future might be utilized for the purpose of tracking humans, for example, criminals, the elderly, the disabled, and children. And this might pose a legitimate concern on the extent of the use of the technology in privacy matters. Thus, despite some benefit of radio frequency identification or RFID, numerous public concerns touching on location privacy will need to be addressed.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fitri Amza bin Ismail and my metric number is 050643. Internet and technology has grown rapidly nowadays. Almost everyone in the world has the access into information everywhere and anywhere. Because of this changing and modernizing, there are several major concerns arise from this activity, such as hacking, fraud, jurisdiction for governing speech, personal data breach, and harassment. The question for this problem is who regulates the internet? Does the law enforceable different in each country? To what extent does it go? Not every country have the same level of technology, so the legal regulation may be difficult to be applied. Apart from the problem, there are also benefits that we can get from this technology advancement, such as countries to cooperate with each other, communication become easier, faster, and more effective. Manufacturing technique become better and more efficient, and innovation in many fields can be explored. Despite from globalization of internet, there is certain countries that control the amount of information accessed by their citizens, such as China, North Korea, Ethiopia, and Iran.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Anwar. My metric number is 049996. I'm from BBARMT 6B, and I would like to present about protection of intellectual property. What is intellectual property? Any product of intellectual activity such as music store, a screenplay, a computer software, or new formula or drugs are referred to as intellectual property. There are many types of intellectual property, and some countries recognize more than others. The most well-known types are copyrights, patents, trademarks, and trade secrets. The most common types of intellectual property disputes are that of infringement. This is where intellectual property use or appropriate without the owner's permission by another. Infringement can be applied to many categories of intellectual properties. Thus, there can be copyright infringement, patent infringement, and trademark infringement. Some common ways that infringement can occur are using the logo for one product on another product of the same nature of the first product. Secondly, creating a logo or using trade dress in a manner that is intended to cause consumers to think they are purchasing a product that is the same as the original product. Then, making copies of musical recordings, movies, and other media and distributing them for profit without the copyright owner's consent. Moreover, manufacturing a patented item by following the specifications listed in the patent without having a license from the patent owner. Last but not least, an intellectual property dispute can also arise through corporate espionage, such as bribing an employee of a competing company to disclose the competitor's secret client list. Lastly, an intellectual property dispute can arise when the producer of a good or a service believes that the product is protected under intellectual property laws when it is actually not protected at all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Izzat Syafiq bin Encik Muhammad Zuki. My metric number is 050489. I'm from BBARMT6. Okay, my part is how to protect intellectual property. There are many ways to protect intellectual property. First is register copyrights, trademarks, and patents. The Copyright Act of 1987 provides copyright protection. Unlike trademarks, design, and patents, copyright does not have its own registration system in Malaysia. Special intangible rights are assigned to books, screenplays, music, image, films, journals, and other types of creative works or materials. Owners of copyright can claim ownership by making a statutory declaration or a voluntary notification with the Malaysian Intellectual Property Corporation, MyIPO. Second, register business, product or domain names. If you want to start a business with your intellectual property, you may protect your rights and identify even more by registering the business, product or domain name associated with it. It will also assist to obtain these names even if you are just getting started with your company, so others don't come up with a similar concept and cause confusion. Your brand includes your company, product and domain names. Even if you operate your business under your own name as a sole proprietor, obtaining registration will assist you. You also receive legal protection, separating your business and intellectual property from yourself. Third, create confidentiality, non-disclosure or licensing contract for employees and partners. There are occasions when you need to maintain privacy information about your company from getting out in the public. Confidentiality agreements which must be established by lawyers, bond employees and workers to keep what they know private if you require it. If they don't, they will be held legally responsible for any leaks. Number 4 is avoid joint ownership. Intellectual property can be produced and generated by a group of people, such as a company research and development department. Joint intellectual property ownership, on the other hand, give many parties control over a copyright, trademark or patent. That being said, each owner is allowed to duplicate, distribute or use the intellectual property in any way they see fit without contacting the other owners. As a result, firms risk having their intellectual property rights exploited in joint ownership. The enforcement of a jointly held intellectual property may require the cooperation of all the owners at all times. Profits and benefits must also be shared in joint intellectual property ownership, which might cause problems for the company. While many of these concerns may be avoided by setting specific conditions in a contract, the overall conclusion is that joint ownership of intellectual property may be difficult and cause more difficulties than it solves. Next is why it is important to protect intellectual property rights. First, your intellectual property rights are important because they can set your business apart from competitors. Second, be sold or licensed, providing an important revenue stream. Third, offer customers something new and different. Next is form an essential part of your marketing or branding. And the last is be used as security for loans.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Raihan bin Azman. My metric number is 050704. Today I would like to present about the conclusion on the topic, which is the current ethical issue in information technology. So the conclusion is information technology is a more diverse field than you might think, and it is related to ethics in a variety of ways. The majority of people are unaware of how they have abused the ethical benchmark in information technology. Rather than discussing ethics, people should become aware of the need to act ethically. As our world enter a new era of a technologically advanced society, our people are given to the ability to multitask and be self-sufficient. It would have been nearly impossible to imagine viable technology and the threat of unknown image captured by those who use it in the previous century. The most perplexing issue is that it becomes extremely difficult to regulate a population once the flow of data has reached a single contiguous network in the hand of those with access to already abundant technology. There comes a point where privacy cannot be defined because data theft, hacking and checking on current citizens for the sake of national security may not be so dissimilar in this age. The world has clearly shifted towards use of such cyber technology to improve market efficiency, and as a result, people have become more sensitive to the amount of power that security analysts, black hat hacker, bank corporation, and other entities may wield over them. As the population becomes more technologically dependent, they become aware that data theft is now a real and present threat, skewing the general sense of safety. Though our future population may include technically educated individuals, there will always be those who are uncomfortable with the change of the flow, those who will resist the new era, and those who fear the long run. Rapid advance in information technology over the last few decades have provided governments, organizations, and individuals with a wide range of new capabilities and powers. These new capabilities necessitated careful analysis as well as the development of new norms, regulation, and laws. Throughout this chapter, we have seen how these new capabilities are wreaking havoc on the areas of material possession and privacy, as well as how the regulatory environment has evolved to deal with them. That's all for me. Thank you.